Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the Supreme Arena defenses I've planned for this week. We have one free-to-play formation and then two alternative pay-to-win formations. We're going to go ahead and begin with the first free-to-play team. So this is going to be a Divine Favor spell double damage healer team with Siren and Lily May in the back. They're also going to be getting buffed up by Ravion for more temporary buffs, and Hugin is going to be permanently buffing up the Siren with the Mechanized Bond and his charm bonus, and we have Pheromore to provide another temporary buff onto Lily May to give her a growth stack, and we have the Snow Stomper up front to take an enemy Lily May interruption, so Siren will freely be able to get off his ultimate. That is the whole idea behind this comp. It should be very strong, and it is overall a pretty budget team option as well. Now, if for example you had Theodore and you wanted to run Theodore in this team specifically, you can replace Hugin for Theodore and just have him in front of Siren to get a quicker ultimate off. This is a totally viable option. However, Hugin is also going to do great for you in this comp. So we're going to move on to team 2. So team 2 is going to be the Pandora Chimera combo. Now first of all, we have a new map effect this week for map 2 and map 3. So the map effect will prevent an ally from being killed when they take a fatal blow. Instead, that ally is going to be frozen and they're going to become invincible, steadfast, and restore 25% of their maximum health per second, and they will only be unfrozen when they heal all the way back up to 100% of their health. That is basically the condition, and only 2 allies are going to be able to actually trigger this on your team. So the good thing about that for a Pandora team is it's going to mean Pandora is probably guaranteed to be protected long enough for Shamir to come out of the box. But I did want to go for a Shamir comp here because if, for example, the enemy gets frozen, like we land a couple fatal blows on them, Shamir is going to keep cycling, and kill them as soon as they basically become unfrozen. So that sustained damage from a hero like Shamir I still think is really good. And Pandora is off to the side, so she can't be like a Rainier swapped or anything. That's something that I'm noticing people try to counter the Pandora teams by Rainier swapping Pandora. But here she's on a tell that she's not going to be symmetrical. And then we have Grim Executioner just to tank for the team. Nero going to give his charms onto Shmira. Ludovic going to heal Nero and Shamir, and Damon going to be buffing Shamir as well with the Blood Moon spell, which always is good for this comp. So overall, this should be a solid team. Nero will take an enemy Lily May interruption. Shamir should come out of the box 4 seconds into the match and then begin bursting the enemy, and the sustained damage should be able to allow her to, even when the enemies become frozen, eventually kill them again, repeatedly. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to team number 3. Team number 3, so there's also the same map effect, that the protection to fatal blows for 2 of your allies for my team and also the enemy side. But this is going to be a good place to run like a Bonnie Tassi combo because that has a lot of stall potential. And so the whole idea here is we have Citron and Bonnie on tiles which are not symmetrical. So if the enemy tries to jump onto you with like a Sylvina, it's not going to work. It's going to go off onto the Iron instead. And they're going to freely be able to set up their, basically, Citrana's Magic Sparks onto allies and Bonnie's debuff onto enemies. We're going to have Snow Stomper in front of Bonnie because she has a pretty good attack speed and can take advantage of those snowballs. Almas will tank for our team. Iron is in the back because he can also take, like, if an enemy goes for a Bonnie debuff or something. And Snow Stomper will take an enemy Lily May interruption. Iron is then going to follow up with his ultimate. And then we have Tassi just to solo the enemy team once we completely stack them with debuffs of Citron and Bonnie. That is the whole game plan. And Pac-Bomb spell is really good for this team and also good on this map because your team is going to be much more resilient, more difficult to actually be killed, and so you're going to get more long-term value of Pac Bond spell. And I really have seen from my own testing in like Duel that Pac Bond does really well with this team. But another option is Seismic spell if you want to run it. And before we move on to the pay-to-win teams, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. A link to this is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and all you have to do is click the link, make a purchase of your choice, and it will support me. So thanks for all of your support. Okay guys, so we're moving on to the pay-to-win Cryonaia teams that I have set up for this week. So in this first team, we're going to have the Theodore Siren combo with Snowstorm taking enemy Lily May interruption, Seismic spell for that initial damage and locking down the enemies. We have Bonnie on a tile that is not symmetrical, so they cannot like Sylvina jump her, and she's going to be behind the Snow Stomper. We have Lily May to interrupt enemies, and we have Tassi who is going to have great cleaning up potential after we spread all the Bonnie debuffs onto the enemies. Also, Siren's going to ult like just a couple of seconds into the match, group up the enemies. Tassi's going to jump on top of them and stun them. And so there's a lot of synergy behind this comp. And like I said, this is probably one of the strongest no Celestial Hypogean comps out there from the testing I've done. And so that is what I'm going to be running for my pay to win teams, or team number 1 for this one. For team number 2, it is going to be the Cryonaia team. So of course, this is a pay to win team. This is a Celestial Hypogean team. If you don't have Aliceth, you can replace her for Kulu. Kulu is going to be a fine replacement for Aliceth if you do not have her, and is still going to be very solid. However, I really find Aliceth quite interesting, especially with the Cryonaia comp, giving her some more additional protection, but Kulu kind of does the same job. Now, the other heroes are Pandora is going to be giving her charms to Cryonaia to ramp up her damage further, also putting her into the box, and 4 seconds into the match, if the enemy doesn't have a Lily Mate and they don't have a Dunlinger, yeah, it is game over basically for the enemy team. There's no we have Divine Favor attack buff on her, Pandora buff on her, Pandora charms on her, Ravion buff on her. It's like, it's game over. And also Cryonaia does really well in this map effect that we have, because she's gonna bypass that mechanic, because she doesn't actually land a fatal blow on enemies, and instead when they go below a certain HP threshold, they're gonna be frozen to ice sculptures, completely bypassing this map effect and having a lot of value. However, of course, teams like this are counterable if they run Lily Mate. If they run Dunlinger, it will be a little bit harder. However, I do think we can bounce back from a Lily Mate, or maybe even a Dunlinger, because we have a lot of protection. We have the Aliceth wings on her. We have the Dunlinger to prevent enemy ultimates. We have Pandora, who's going to box her at the beginning. We have Divine Favor for unaffected. So, like, we have a lot of things going in our favor that hopefully Cryonaia will be able to get a rebound ultimate, even if she's interrupted on her first run, and probably still win. So there we have it for a Cryonaia team setup. Team number 3 is going to be the Saida Thalia Monstrosity, and this, honestly, it is not even that pay to win. Like, if you have built Saida for AFK stages, and you have built a PvP hero like Athalia here, and this team can work really well. Of course, everyone has the twins when we're talking about the pay-to-win formation lineup. And now look at this team. So we're going to have 3 heroes on the Stellar Bond, which are Saida, Elucia, and then also the Athalia. We need to have... I wanted to have Athalia and Saida both on the bond, and I want to have Elucia buffing the Athalia. That's very important, because we want to have that basically, because Athalia has the most dashing and moving across the map, and she can keep re-triggering the Elucia effect, which is very strong. And then Saida on the bond is going to give her energy recovery, allow her to cycle a bit more. And then we have Damon up front as a tank, Ludovic as a healer, which is really synergizing with this Pac-Man spell idea that we're going to have a lot of healing, we're going to have a lot of protection and tankiness. It's going to be difficult for the enemy to kill any one of our specific heroes, and it is going to work out well for us. And then also we have that immunity to fatal blows, which is even more basically tankiness and stroll factor of this team. So this is going to be a strong team. I'm excited for it, and I'm running it even on my other pay-to-win formation. Now, as for the pay-to-win teams I'm going to be running this week, that is going to be the Dionel team, because it hasn't failed me yet. And we're going to have Aliceth in the back, Dionel in the back. We're going to have Dunlinger providing that shield onto Dionel. We also have Aliceth wings onto Dionel, basically protecting him as much as possible. Elucia Phantomal giving that spirit mark effect onto Ravion, who has the most movement of the team, and then Leica for the temporary buffs with the Divine Favor spell. I made sure to run this team on map number 1, because this is the only map where there isn't that frozen effect, and I think it's really important to have Dionel, which is just trying to nuke the enemy really quickly. You don't want them to be able to freeze and bounce back in your face. You just want to nuke them within like the first 10 seconds of the match, and that is going to be great for this map number 1. So we have map number 1. Map number 2 is going to be the Theodore Siren combo, and again, I think this is not bad for this map effect, because number 1, we have Siren, who can execute enemies, right, before they can even trigger this map effect, because an execution of Siren is going to bypass this fatal blow. I'm almost certain about it. And then on top of that, we do have Bonnie for spreading the debuffs, Tassia to solo at the end, Lily Mate to interrupt enemies, just being annoying, and then we have Snow Stomper to take an enemy Lily Mate interruption, and Seismic Spell just to lock down the enemy team. So overall, I think this is going to be a very strong team, and Tassi should be able to solo in the end, and this added survivability to like heroes like Tassi, or maybe even Bonnie, it is going to be helpful. So I am happy with this team. We have Bonnie in a position that she cannot be jumped by an enemy Sylvina. That's really important, because you do not want her to be prevented from casting her debuff. And then team number 3 is going to be the same team that I was recommending, the Cryonaia team. It is the Saida, Thalia, and Lucio all on the Stellar Bond of the Twins. Damon buffing up Ludovic with the Pack Bond spell. And overall, I do think that this should do really well, and this map effect is going to help it more. If the enemy does go for a Cryonaia type comp, that is something you have to think about. However, you know, with the Pack Bond spell, with the healing from Ludovic, and also the Thalia has a kill potential onto an enemy Cryonaia even after Cryonaia casts their ultimate. All of those factors are going to make it probably not completely consistent of a Cryonaia beating this. And for team number 2, of course, we have Lily May, who can interrupt an enemy Cryonaia. So that's just something you want to kind of plan for if possible, to prevent those Cryonaias on map 2 and map 3, because that's probably where they're going to bring them out to counter this map effect. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it's helpful. If there's any other team that is working for you, feel free to share that in the comment section down below. But thanks for watching. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.